There was always something about that from when I was little that had interest. And one of the things I remember is my mom was a columnist for a while for a little hometown newspaper. And we were having like lunch together one afternoon. I think I was in kindergarten, and she got called to go cover a brush fire that was happening. And I thought, wow, it was pretty cool. And so there was always something about wanting to write and share ideas that was always intriguing to me. It is. It's a passion, and it's a strength as well. When I look at a topic, or I hear the news of the day or whatever it might be, I think of how that would come out in a written form. Whether it's a blog post, which I think blogs are fantastic. It's great, but it's both a passion and I think a strength of mine as well. Yeah, I felt like accomplished with it. I was in grade school and Watergate was happening, and so as a kid, and my parents always talk about kind of the news of the day. And my dad was an engineer. My mom was who was an engineer who liked to write, and my mom was say more artistic. But I felt like it made sense of kind of all that was happening out there. I remember also just when I was little, first grade, second grade, the Vietnam War was happening. And so NBC, remember particularly, the NBC Nightly News, they'd always show these, the films of, POWs being marched through the streets of Hanoi and other things like that. And I thought, to me, it was amazing that it was like you could show that, and it brought this kind of reality right into my own life. And so it was like, I wanted to help make sense of the world. And so I think even in just scribbling out my first newspaper was a way of kind of making sense of, the events of the day that were happening. I haven't really ever written anything too controversial. I have a lot of things in mind, so, and maybe someday I will. Probably part of it is, I had kind of my own formats that I worked through, and then working in with a lot of small businesses, kind of the rule of thumb has been, you don't want to talk about religion and politics, you don't want to offend people, and yet, as I'm developing my own personal blog, and so it's also a matter of thinking, okay, here's my world over here. Here's where I react or talk about maybe these issues. Everything else kind of in the business world has been somewhat, say, sanitary, and maybe too much so. And so now it's like I think I'm ready to branch out and maybe ruffle some feathers. I think, number one, know who your audience is and what their needs are. That's critical. And the second is to know what the absolute best thing is you do as either a professional or as a company. How do you really help those people? And then to be able to put that into a consistent format. This is why I believe in blogging, for example, or article writing, because it can be written where you've got 400 to 700 words, and you can state your case and how you benefit your customers or client base.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.